Sriracha and Gochujang, two chili-based Asian condiments, sometimes found side by side on store shelves. They're similar in some ways, but they're also really different. By the end of this video, you'll know all about these two condiments and you may just find a new favorite. Let's get spicy. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And yes, today we are talking about two of my favorite Asian condiments, Sriracha and Gochujang. Now, before I get started on my 5 points kind of comparing these two, it's worth noting that neither of these are formal names. Sriracha and Gochujang, it's similar to just ketchup and mustard. But if you know Sriracha, you're probably familiar with this brand from Weifang Foods, based in California. You might know it as the Rooster Sauce. This bottle is kind of famous, and they are really well known for their Sriracha sauce. I even hear that you can buy a t-shirt with that rooster logo. Now, Sriracha is really well known here, even in the US. In the past decade or so, it's gotten really popular. But Gochujang, on the other hand, it's a little bit less well known. I discovered it about 10 years ago on my first trip to South Korea, and I just fell in love with it. It was like love at first bite. The first time I had it was actually on the flight over to South Korea. I was having some bibimbap, and the stewardess gave me a tube of this stuff, and I could not believe how good it was. I devoured a ton of it when I was in South Korea, and then the first thing I did when I got home was I went to my local H Mart and I bought a big tub of it. Now, while these are both chili-based sauces, like I say, they are different in some ways. So let's talk about the first of 5 ways that they're different, and that begins with taste. So Sriracha, if you've ever had it, it's spicy, it's kind of tangy, it's really a great sauce. Gochujang, on the other hand, while it's spicy, it's also quite sweet and savory. To me, it's a far more complex sauce, and that's because of the ingredients it uses. So in addition to the chilies and the sweeteners, it also has fermented soybean paste, it has glutinous rice. It's really just kind of a different taste. It's really hard to describe, but it's addicting. And I should mention that, you know, these are both spicy, but they're not like insanely hot. They're not like, if you saw my video of when I tried Da Bomb Insanity Sauce, where it like blew my head off, it was so hot, or when I was eating a ghost pepper, it's nothing of that level. They're spicy, but they're not crazy spicy. So the Sriracha, it's got kind of more of a tang to it. That's because of the vinegar. It's got just a really nice flavor, a nice heat. The Gochujang, on the other hand, as I spill all over here, it's sweeter. I don't find this quite as hot. And again, it's a different complexity, but really, really good in its own right. Now, as far as which one's better, well, I will let your palate decide. Like I say, they're both great, and in this video, I'm not going to say one is necessarily better tasting than the other, because they're really two different sauces. You might just like them both, just like I do. Now, the second way that these two differ is in their texture. So Sriracha is, even though it's called a paste, it's more liquidy. It's really easy to spread. It's easy to put on food. You can make some really nice kind of food art with it. Gochujang, on the other hand, it is far thicker. It is much more of a paste, especially this stuff in the tub. You can see that I can put a spoon in it and it will just stand up. And in that regards, it's really good for just kind of basting on foods. If you want to, let's say, roast some meat or something, you can just kind of spread this on and it could make a really nice glaze in addition to a great condiment. And I should mention, if you're looking for this in the store and you can't find a bottle that explicitly says Gochujang, you might see it called fermented red pepper paste. Just look for that, and it might say Gochujang just in small letters like it does on this canister. Now let's talk about the third difference, and that's price. So in general, Sriracha is cheaper than Gochujang. At my local store, Gochujang is about twice as expensive as Sriracha. And you know, Sriracha is known as a really value-conscious condiment. This particular brand really prides itself on keeping prices low. This was about $3, I think, for this bottle, whereas a canister like this was about over $6. Now, again, this isn't like caviar prices or anything like that, but just know that going in that Sriracha in general is a really great value, whereas Gochujang costs a little bit more, but they both last a long time. And that brings us to our fourth point, storage for these. Now, Sriracha, actually, it does not need refrigeration. So you can just kind of put it on a shelf. You can even put it on your desk at work so that you and your coworkers can enjoy Sriracha hit anytime you want. But Gochujang, on the other hand, once it's opened, it does recommend refrigeration. So just keep that in mind with these two condiments. Okay, and the fifth and final way that these two differ is in their regionality, where they were created. So Sriracha hails from Thailand. The story goes that it was invented by a woman in the coastal area of Sriracha, and it was just so popular that all her friends asked for it, and well, the story goes that it just got more and more popular. Now, this particular brand is actually made here in California, and it came by way of a Vietnamese refugee. Gochujang, on the other hand, as I mentioned earlier, it is from South Korea. But you know what? The beautiful thing is that these are now easily found even in general supermarkets. Here in America, I can go to just a mainstream market and find Gochujang these days, in addition to Sriracha, which has been around in general markets for a while. But it's really nice to see Gochujang making its way more into mainstream markets. Now, the variety that you find there may not be as much. If you go to an Asian grocer, you'll find much more variety of Gochujang than you will at a mainstream grocer. But if you're just trying it for the first time, you know, grab a canister, maybe grab a squeeze bottle and try it out. Let me know what you think. And which is your favorite if you have one? What do you use these for? I like to use these on rice, on meat as a dipping sauce. You can even mix some Sriracha with mayonnaise to make like a Sriracha aioli. It's wonderful. So there you go. There's a quick primer on Sriracha versus Gochujang. I hope you find this helpful and, you know, give these a try. Like I say, let me know what you think. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.